America, as we continue to chronicle the NBA's 75th season, a historic season, we want to continue to look at basketball history. Okay. So at the small forward position, I think it's pretty much universal. Maybe you got some old heads that are pushing back. But I think it's pretty much universal that LeBron Raymond James Sr. is the greatest small forward of all time. Okay. So, and let me be frank, many, not the majority, but many have him as the greatest player ever.
Right.
Okay. So, okay, Bron is the best small forward of all time, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So where is the argument? Where is the debate? The debate is at number two. Okay. You got Larry Joe Bird, three ships with the Boston Celtics in the 80s, three MVPs. Okay. Three back to back to back
Correct.
MVPs. Okay. You got Kevin Durant with an MVP, even though he said his mama is the real MVP. Okay. You
Yes.
got Kevin Durant with two championships, two finals MVPs. Many people calling him one of the greatest, just pure scorers of all time, a cheat code, basically a 7 foot two guard. So we got two great guys right here, small forward. So my question to my brothers is this: who do they think is better historically? Like when it's all said and done, who's gonna be left as being considered the better player? Larry Bird or Kevin Durant? JoJo, I'll start with you.
You just got the answer just then. You said Joe, right?
Right.
It's Larry Joe Bird.
Okay.
He's number two, man. Uh, Averaging 24 points, 10 rebounds, and this is during an era that you said rebounds are for real, for real.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Uh, Dropped a measly 6 dimes a game. Just six. Two steals, one block. As you stated, three MVPs. 9-time All NBA first team.
Mm.
12-time NBA All Star. Compared to Durant, 11 NBA All Stars, one MVP, six first team All NBAs. Kevin Durant, 27 points, seven boards during the era when you say rebounds is not for real, for real. Only 4 dimes, one steal, one block. Uh, Free throw percentage. Larry Bird, 88. Kevin Durant, 88. 3 point, Larry Bird, 38. Kevin Durant, 38. 2 point percentage, Larry Bird, 51. Kevin Durant, 54. We've always said that Kevin Durant is one of the best scorers
Mm-hmm.
in the league ever.
Mm-hmm.
But I always attract towards somebody who's going to give me more than just points.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the guy get the rebounds. Like at small forward, you're supposed to be doing, a little of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you can't argue with three MVPs, man. Like that's tough. And then this is during the time that like we say, okay, this is when basketball was basketball. Like there was no cheap fouls and all of that. You earn that. And when you have, I hate to take it racial, when you have a bunch of black players that says this white boy is the one, and that he could tell the opposing team, don't you try to get another white boy to guard me.
Right.
And it's okay for him to say that. It's got to be Larry Joe Bird, man.
That's what he said. That's what they say he said. Caesar, who you got? Larry Joe Bird or Kevin Durant?
This conversation has the potential to be sneakingly deceptive.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and,
Okay.
and what I mean by that, if you don't do your homework, you'll be in trouble with this conversation because the stats are comparable in certain areas. Um, Man, let me quit playing. Look, at the end of the day, Larry Bird is one of the greatest players ever. Ever. I'm gonna go right off of what Joe said. Um, since I didn't see Larry Bird's prime, like I saw the end of Larry Bird's career. So we didn't
Mm.
see the great Larry Bird. So I can only go off of two things. The YouTube clips that I've seen, which lately I've been watching a lot of Larry Bird just because I've gone through Kobe, Mike, Magic, and now I'm looking at Bird to see what the to Joe's point, when you hear your contemporaries, your guys, the who's who of your generation talk about you the way they talk about Larry Bird, not to say that Kevin Durant doesn't get his respect in his era. He does. Guys give him
Right.
his respect, right?
Right.
But they don't speak in terms of fear. There are only certain guys in this game. When you speak of him, you speak of him in fear. Larry Bird is that guy. Michael Jordan talked about Larry Bird in that way. We're like, man, this dude was for real. Magic Johnson, guys that had to go at him, spoke
Mhm.
about Larry Bird and put him on that pedestal. Where if it's good enough for Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas, man, it's good enough for me. The three back-to-back MVPs, man, that's crazy. By the way, Larry Bird has his own rule. He has his own rule in the NBA. They had to go from a point of contract status with a certain guy that once he played at a certain level, you had to implement a bird rule to keep him around. Research that. That's how deep this man's impact on the game. Also, there's not too many stories of guys, except for guys like Jordan, Kobe, and Larry Bird, where they tell you what they're gonna do, when they're gonna do it, how they're gonna do it on the court, and it all happens exactly as they designed it to be. Um, real goons, as I like to say, of the 80s, speak about Larry Bird, and just to say the things that they say about him, man, the reverence that they have when they speak on that guy, Charles Barkley. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody you can think of who was that dude in the 80s, will tell you that Larry Bird is that guy. Kevin Durant is phenomenal. He's probably the third best small forward of all time. But in this case, he's gonna have to be third. He's just gonna have to sit back and relax and understand that in this case, being behind LeBron and being behind Larry Legend, it's okay, man. Just take a back seat because these two guys, they're head and shoulders above Kevin Durant.
Well, I'm gonna make it unanimous then.
Okay.
As,
See,
as,
I knew we were gonna find something
as,
tonight that
as, as,
we could
as Joe
agree on.
predicted, I'm gonna go with Larry Joe Bird. But I will say this, America, as my brother Racist Leo said, I haven't seen Larry Bird play in terms of series. I've seen the clips,
Yeah.
I see the numbers, I've seen his contemporaries talk about the killer instinct. Uh, I did see him play in the series versus Jordan in the Bulls. I saw that. Uh, and what I saw was that team was stupid souped.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that.
Mhm.
But I also got to say that I've seen KD has been very blessed as well in his career to have with OKC. You got Russell Westbrook, who went on to win the MVP. You got James Harden, who was MVP talent, went on to win the MVP in Houston. You go to Golden State, that's where you win your titles. You got Stephen Curry, you got Klay Thompson, you got Draymond Green. And now, even in Brooklyn, you got James Harden and you got Kyrie, who trying to navigate the COVID situation. So, like, if I'm gonna say Larry Bird was blessed to have Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish and Bill Walton and DJ, I gotta look and say KD been blessed as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then when I look at all things being equal, you look at what Bird was able to get done in a very contentious time in the 80s where you got the Lakers had a super team and he was still able to get three ships. You got the Pistons, in my opinion, that's a super team. Them boys loaded. Go look them up, America. That them boys are loaded. Loaded. Okay. You look at the Sixers were still good then. Sixers were good. Okay. The Rockets were good. You had the Twin Towers with the Rockets. With Hakeem and Ralph Sampson. Like, you got some good, and of course, you got Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the greatest player of all time, who's ascending. So, to do what he did at that time, I still want to put my eyes on his playoff career. Still want to do my research on that. But as of right now, just looking at what he did in terms of, as Joe pointed out, for real, getting 10 boards in the era where the lane is congested and you're not even athletic like that,
All right.
that really make me look some type of way at guys like Brun and KD. Why Brun and KD ain't averaging 10 boards now?
He averaged 10. Now remember, the last few years of his career, he was battling all kind of back injuries where he couldn't even get up and down the floor. So if he averaged 10, that means he took a dip in his final years.
Yeah, so he came his first year in the league 10.4. Next year 10.9, 10.9, 11, 10.1, 10.5. You know what I'm saying? Like, he came out the gate, he giving you a double-double.
Double-double off the top.
And he can't even jump.
Yeah.
So and by the way,
I don't know
Kevin Durant has played 14 years. Bird only played 13.
That back.
Yeah.
That back.
Yeah, man.
You know, and KD still searching for another title.
A signature title.
Ooh, Joe. Ooh.
Well, let's be honest.
Ooh.
That's real.
Of his caliber, he does not have a signature title.
Yeah. You got to have those things to pass Larry Bird. Nobody's sleeping on Kevin
They're
Durant.
Inflammatory, JoJo.
When that man sits down, Kevin Durant doesn't have to explain himself to anybody. I mean, I used to give him a hard time for switching teams and leaving and doing it. At the end of the day, Kevin Durant, no matter where he plays in the NBA, he's one of the best players of his generation. Cool, we got that.
I will say this though, that boy Larry Bird got 3 all defensive teams on his resume. But then when I hear these GOATs talk about Larry, like Charles Barkley say Larry couldn't guard nothing.
Yeah.
And he got 3 all defensive teams on his resume. Do y'all think that's just like notoriety? They just giving and because KD has none. Yeah. KD does not have not a one. Even though we said he is 7'2" guard, he should be able to defend all 5 positions.
And you know, I'm just thinking off the top of my head now. There's no way for me to quantify this because that's my first time hearing that, so that's new information to me. But it's not like there wasn't a good group of guys to go up against for that you know, for those all defensive teams, because he's going up against forwards on his team and Kevin McHale. He's going up against guys like Sidney Moncrief, right? He's having to go up against.
Well, he was the guard.
Okay, Moncrief was a guard. He having to go up against guys like James Worthy, perhaps. So it's not like he's having to say this is going to be given to me anyway. There are some guys out there that definitely will warrant a conversation for all defensive teams. So if he got 3 in the 80s, man, I think that's pretty tough right there.
And he getting 6 assists. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and give it. Larry Bird better passer than KD.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
KD better scorer.
Yeah, I would agree.
But he better pass. Now, who the better shooter? That's a question. Now, if you look at historically and you look at numbers, of course, you're going to see KD got way more three balls than Larry because, again, America, those coaches held those boys back. Yeah. Larry Bird, if I'm not mistaken, but his career took like 2 threes per game.
Yeah.
Like, y'all judging Larry Trey ball off of the 3-point contest. But Larry said he didn't even practice threes. He didn't even practice them.
But that just goes to the whole point, though. If this man's game was not built to shoot the 3, because that's just how the era played.
They didn't.
Right.
Like,
and then all of a sudden
that was a gimmick shot.
And then all of a sudden he walks into a 3-point contest and tell guys, I'm gonna win this thing, and then runs the table. Well, that shows you that he's a shooter. That shows you what he is. Like,
not only that, Kevin Durant is averaging 27 points. Larry Bird 24.
Yeah.
We know KD shoots.
Yeah, shoots a good amount of threes. That's the game today.
So why Larry Bird is still just 3 points behind that, and he wasn't shooting a three like that.
The reason why I'm okay with saying KD's a better shooter because his mid range is deadly. Not to say Larry wasn't, because his was too clearly. But KD, when he is on, man, there's nothing you can do to stop him
That's
at
true.
7 foot. When he pulls up, it's lethal. I really, and it's kind of my point of trying to find any clips or real meaningful clips in terms of like, not highlight clips, but long format clips of Larry Bird, because I want to see this man do 30 minutes of work to see what that looks like. Outside of a Lakers series, I want to see what that looks like when he's playing the Pistons for real in a series, or the Milwaukee Bucks at the time when they were not a powerhouse, but when they were a playoff contender. I want to see what that looks like. Yeah, I want to see what that looks like to go up against those guys. Like I said, we hear the story. We hear Doc Rivers talk about it, Byron Scott, like real guys. Dominique Wilkins said that Larry Bird destroyed him many a night. Well, Dominique Wilkins only led the league in scoring a handful of times, man. Like, this is a real guy talking about a real guy and saying he strikes fear in me. That's Larry Bird, man.
I'm gonna go with Larry as well. But America, I will say this: I reserve the right to, once I do my research, to tie my rope to this statue. But America, y'all chime in and tell us.
He'll do it, America.
In a minute.
I don't like that.
No, he'll do it, America.
That's what I do not like right there.
He'll do it. We got to end it like this. He'll do it, America.
Because that statue will go down just how Florida, the number 20 ranked team, lost to Texas Southern tonight.
America, you'll look up and he'll have you believing that Magic Johnson was blessed to have people and not the other way around.
I mean, but America, y'all chime in and tell us who y'all got. Who will go down better historically, Larry Joe Bird or Kevin Durant? Put it on, son. My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit Statement Tees, LLC.com and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
makes a statement.